somebody said China, that the United States of America raised tariffs on China to 245%. Let me go and see that for myself. I got to go and see this for myself. Trump tariffs. Why is California suing Trump on tariffs? According to Newsweek, they're saying that China faces a 245% tariff. Let me pull this up. All right, I got to pull this up for the people. Give me a second, and then we're going to get into China wanting to start negotiating, and they appointed a new negotiator. So let me make sure I got this set up correctly. I did not know that. I am from Dirt Merc to Classics. I did not know this. I did not know that it was a possible 245% tariff that was coming in. But let me go ahead and pull it up. This is according to, move that down a little bit. They saying sign me up. No, I don't want to sign up. I'm not going. All right, let's deep dive. Let's see. White House said China is facing a, so it's not yet in action. The White House says China is facing a 245% tariff on imports to the U.S. as a result of its retaliatory actions as the trade war between the world's two largest economies, continues to heat up. The top potential tariff was referenced in a fact sheet published by the White House on Tuesday. It accompanied an executive order signed by President Trump that launched an investigation into the national security risks posed by U.S. reliance on imported processed critical minerals and their derivative products. A White House official told Newsweek that the calculation reflects the maximum potential rate some Chinese goods can face, combining the reciprocal tariff, the FENTI tariff, and the existing Section 301 tariffs that go up to 100%. Electric vehicles, for example, have an outstanding Section 301 tariffs of 100% dating back to the Biden administration, meaning these products could face a 245% rate in total. So that's not across the board. That's to be implemented depending on what products that we're referencing. All right, well, that is what's happening on that front. So I will keep y'all in the loop on what's going on. Let's pivot for a minute and let's talk about China saying that it won't. This is what China is saying that they won't. They said that they won't respect. Now, maybe today, yesterday was a little bit more rough. Maybe today we can actually get somebody that can speak proper English so that we can understand what China wants.
Alan, how should I read this statement?
Right. The first thing to know, I think, is that China has always been saying that it is open to dialogue. But then, obviously, there's always the fine print. And China has always framed its openness to dialogue as a willingness to talk, as long as it is based on equality and respect mutually. But we are able to report today that China is open to talks with a little more specific conditions attached to it. First of all, as I said, China is demanding some respect.
Thank you, Chef G-Rap. I'm going to be reading
specifically, it basically wants the Trump administrations to rein in some of the cabinet members who makes disparaging remarks about China. And then the other more specific conditions is that China wants the U.S. side to appoint a person that it could have those talks with, which is understandable because we've seen how different members of the administration have said different things over the course of the last couple of months. And China is frustrated that it doesn't really know what the U.S. wants from this negotiation. And this person, as long as he could or she could put together a deal that both presidents could put their names on, it's our understanding that China didn't designate anybody.
Okay. That's really interesting. But isn't the issue with that we ultimately see Donald Trump being the final arbiter of what the U.S. side will accept, and isn't that the problem that we face here? That he's obviously thinks of himself as a deal maker and probably wants to be pulling the strings. aren't the Chinese ultimately just going to be dealing with Trump? Isn't that the level at which this needs to be sorted out?
Yeah, I think we all know that Trump likes to deal with other leaders one-on-one to get them together in the same room and just hash it out between two leaders. But that's not how China normally operates here. And the bottom line is that China wants to deal with someone who actually represents or knows what Trump wants, so that any negotiation will have a meaningful outcome.
So that is what's happening on the front of China and what they're saying that they want from Trump. They're saying that they want respect, that they want to assign a negotiator that's not disrespectful, but they're also, right, in escalating this trade war, they're appointing a new trade negotiator. So China, even though they was acting like they was the big bad wolf and everybody was acting like, oh man, China is the big bad wolf, we need to be scared of them. All of a sudden, all of their retailers and all of their people and their propaganda machine and stuff is falling on deaf ears because Trump is not blinking. He is not relenting. He is absolutely willing to take this to the ends of the earth. And I'll add the additional context, but right now, China is now appointing a new trade negotiator in order to try to contact the U.S. behind the scenes to get these things fixed so that they can get rid of the tariffs.
And in an unexpected move this morning, China has appointed a new international trade negotiator amid this escalating tariff war with the U.S. Now, this, as Beijing announced, its economy is exceeding expectations, growing by 5.4% from January to March. That's compared with the same period last year. However, analysts predict growth from the world's second largest economy will slow as the Trump administration's levies on Chinese goods into the U.S. take effect. For more on this, let's bring in BBC News correspondent Stephen McDonald. He's following developments from Beijing. Good morning to you, Stephen, or I guess good evening, since it's about 7:10 in China where you are. Help us understand why China's appointed a new trade envoy now.
Yeah, well, the appointment of Li Chenggang says two things. One, that they think they're heading into rough waters. And two, it looks like they are actually preparing for negotiations. Now, why do we say that?
Oh, two things that y'all said was not a possibility. A, everything is starting to get really, really rough, really, really fast for them. So they're starting to feel the economic impact of what Trump is already doing. Less than a month. Because y'all got to remember, listen, we're only about 2 weeks into tariffs. Trump didn't even announce the tariffs until April 2nd. We are at April 16th as the recording of this video and as this live stream is popping off. We are on April 16th. From April 2nd to April 16th, which is the equivalent of 2 weeks. It feels like it's been 2 months, hasn't it? In 2 weeks, you already see Chinese manufacturers and retailers catching hell. They have sped up overtime and pushing propaganda on TikTok and all of these other platforms. Now they've already allocated a new trade negotiator. That's number one. They're starting to feel the heat. They're starting to see an economic slowdown. And now they want to start having a conversation and coming to the table. Listen, if you are already great and everything is going well, then what you coming to the table for? What you coming to the table for? I thought everything was cool. You good over there? You good? Everything straight? It's like a woman. Everything can be taken back down to relationships. Everything can be related back down to relationships. It's just like a woman. She say, you know I'm going to leave, ain't I? You know I'm going to leave. And you be like, because, you know, they so used to you saying, oh, baby, baby, please. Because, you know, the R&B stars of the 90s, they was begging women, I'll do anything for you. I'll give you the world and some. I give you the world and down in the mountains. I'll give you the world. You know, they was giving you all of that. And we was skating to it. And even more. It was like, what? If we go back and listen to some of this nonsense that we was being programmed in the 90s, it's like, what do you mean you'll give her the world and more? Are you selling wolf tickets or what? We used to be begging outside of their window, singing to them on the phone and stuff like that. They're used to that. China is used to the United States of America kowtowing and giving in and saying, hey, we're going to give you the world. Just all you got to do is continue to be a part of what it is that we got going on, and we going to rock out with you. That's what they used to. And then you get a little settled, you know. Y'all get into y'all relationship a bit. She keep on talking stuff. You know what? I'ma leave if you keep on talking. And then finally you say, Tariff, get your ass up out that house. Cool. Get on up out the house then if you think you tough. Okay, cool. She take her little suitcase. She go outside. It just so happened to not be so hot that day. It's a little cooler outside. It's about 27 degrees, 37 degrees tops. That wind is hitting her face. She get inside of the car. This is what tariffs do to you. I'm trying to break it down from a C student's perspective so y'all understand exactly what's going on. She get inside of that car, start it up. It's a little less than a quarter tank of gas. She used to her husband filling it up. She go to use the cards. It's to put a stop on the cards. Oh, use your own money. You got this. You got it. She go to her mother's house for the first day, right? She go back to I go to my mama's house. She lay there on the couch. She see that roach run across the ceiling, the thing that she got away from, the thing that she was so happy to get you away from. See, all of them women on TikTok, they put a battery in her back. Girl, hold strong. Leave them. Meanwhile, they laid up with their husband and they man like, this girl, here, baby, you see what this girl is going through? They showing their husband your story and sharing it with their friends in a group chat, laughing at your situation while typing in your comments, yeah, girl, hold strong. Hold strong. You see that roach run across the ceiling? Ain't no food in the refrigerator. Credit card's been cut off because you ain't been paying them in any way. Next thing you know, you want to send you sending your negotiator. You contact him by a third party, because you don't want him to know that you out there suffering. So what you do is you tell somebody that you know is going to get back to him, but you didn't know that he was in the house playing video games because he feel free. He slept in a whole bed. He didn't have to be curled up. The covers wasn't being pulled off of him to where he was freezing in the morning, and he ain't got to do none of that. You didn't know. See, he was having a good time. He was having a good time. He did the scene, what is it, Tom Cruise, when he went in and he slid in with his socks on and he was playing it. He was like a kid on Home Alone. All you did was unleash the beast. He never gonna be the same even if you did come back. So then eventually you say, call him after 2 days, the second day suffering. You ready to talk? He over there giggling while you laughing and calling on the phone. This is how we looking at China. This is how we looking at China. And you know the worst part about you leaving is that you can't finesse them and thinking that you was actually doing something for him when you was here. See, what he realizes that, wait a minute, what is all this cleaning that she doing all day? You know why? Because the house never got dirty when he went to work. He realized, wait a minute, all I got to do is throw this Tide Pod in here and everything is going to get cleaned on its own, and then I just got to throw it inside of the dryer? Wait. You mean all I got to do is take 2 minutes to make up the bed? That no dishes is in the sink because I don't even eat here in the first place? So what the hell you doing all day? Now you unlocked him. You messed up. You messed up. You didn't know that we realized that we didn't need Chinese products. And so now we're willing to go all the way. Tariff on your butt. Simple Life Living says, Anton, why do you always make this thing about women? Something is not right. The best way to explain it from a C student's perspective is to speak about it in relationship terms, because everybody understands relationships. So I have to break it down in ways, because if we just talk lingo, if we just talk tariffs, 245% tariff, this product over there, this is manufactured, luxury goods and all, then people gonna get lost in the sauce. It's no fun that way. It's no fun. There's not a learning experience. And so you got to meet people where there are. And so if you start talking about relationships, they be like, oh, that makes sense. So this is why tariffs. Don't get so easily offended. Listen, if you having problems in your relationship, if you're having issues, don't despair. Send me an email at antondaniels.com, antondaniels413@gmail.com, or fill out the form at antondaniels.com, and then we'll get back to you as soon as possible. We can fix your relationship. Don't be so offended. Why he always talking about what women is doing? Because women be doing some stuff that we can relate to that we then need to bring y'all to the front of the congregation so we can better understand tariffs. Now, if you're not having any problems, then this should not be triggering to you. You can't ask Anton from AntonDaniels.com, why you always talking about taking drugs? Why you always offended? Because I'm not a dope fiend. So I can talk about it without being offended by it. Or if you talk about it, and I'm not going to get offended because you're talking about a dope fiend, because I ain't never did dope. I can call my girl, matter of fact, my girl is at a Pilates class right now. Looking at her location. Pilates. There she is. I see her. See that? Got to find my. She over there working it out. Remember when I was holding y'all accountable on after hours and I said, listen, what is women doing all day to where they can't take care of business and be on top of things? I'm looking at her right there. Pilates and the boxing club. You see that? See her right there. Bing. Pilates. Hey, Rita. Stay fit. Stay on top of things. Make sure you keep it tight. That way I don't have to tariff you when I get home. Let's continue.
Because he's a veteran trade negotiator who was China's former ambassador to the World Trade Organization in Geneva, just the type of person you would want to have to be sitting down with the US if you're going to cut some tough deals. So just his appointment makes it seem like, on the one hand, they're worried about where China's going, but on the other, if there are going to be negotiations, this is who we'd want to do it. And I think it does show that at some point they realize they're going to have to talk to Washington.
See, y'all think that, y'all thought that I got finesse with that. See, what y'all didn't realize, y'all saying, oh, she left the phone where she wants you to be. That's why you got to have to go with a partner. You see the second person? Y'all didn't see the second person. You see the second person on there? That's Rita, and then that's the second person. See, listen, I'm playing 4D chess, and y'all over here playing checkers. See, that's some stuff that your girl would do. I'm playing 4D chess, and y'all playing checkers. Listen, it's multiple different people that's over here at this location, baby. Yeah. Gotta send her with a partner. Yeah. See, you thought you had me. I'm way ahead of you. Big dog. And more importantly, if you can't trust her to do what she's supposed to do, you shouldn't even be with her in the first place, all right?
As we just mentioned, China is exceeding growth expectations now, but when will tariffs, in your view, begin to have an impact on those numbers?
I think in the next quarter, sure, we saw some good figures today, showing that really the Chinese economy was holding up much better than expected for the first quarter. Of course, all of that is before the tariffs kick in. So, we had an acknowledgement actually from the person from the Bureau of Statistics releasing these figures that
I'm not discriminating against you, Kerry.
Is going to hurt. There is going to be pain, but that China has the ability to stand up to the US in the face of this challenge. I think we're going to see it pretty quickly, though. I'll give you a quick example. We've seen reports that the companies here that produce Christmas decorations for the US market, they're supposed to have had their orders by now. Now, they haven't had those orders yet. because of the fear that it's all going to cost too much. And it means that I suppose people have to dig out their old Christmas decorations in the US this year or pay more for them if they end up coming in from China again. Now, that's just one example. And I think all of the export sectors of the market that are targeting the US, they're bracing for these sorts of shocks.
So, anyways, long story short, China is now trying to come to the table and fix the situation and send a new negotiator. And then they're trying to pivot and act like they want some respect, when in reality, we already know that they just suffering over there. And the economy is really going boom. So it's going bust anyways.